Hi, this is Eric Campuzano from the Prayer Chain, and you're watching Good Company.
Good company!
Hey guys, my name's Scott Bowling, and you're watching Good Company. Today, I'm with Eric Campuzano from Prayer Chain. Prayer Chain's a band that I grew up listening to. It was one of the first bands I ever saw live that I wanted to. It was you and the Beach Boys. So
That's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah, me too.
I wish I saw you guys together. That'd be good. If you open up for them or something. Thank you for being here, Eric.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's an awkward handshake.
It was, dude.
There
Let's
we
do
go.
it again.
Much better.
Dude, you guys been around since what, 90? We were trying to figure that out earlier. Was it 91, 90, somewhere early 90s?
I think that's when we actually had legitimate releases. I think we started probably 89-ish, maybe 88.
Did you guys go to like high school together?
I met Tim, the singer, in youth group, so I've known him since I was like a sophomore in high school. I met Andy via recycler ad. I don't know. Wow. Did you guys have those?
Yeah,
here?
man, that's like old, like creative loafing. I think that's something we had here.
Yeah, in the paper, and then we met Wayne at a Prayer Chain show. We were looking for a drummer.
Oh yeah.
And we said, hey, we're looking for a drummer. Can anyone want to try out? And so he came after the show, said, hey man, I play drums. We're like, okay, we'll try you out. And he came in and nailed it.
So are you guys about in the same age group? I mean,
Yeah, we're probably max 4 years apart. I think Wayne's the youngest, Tim's the oldest. So yeah, Wayne would be a freshman, Tim would be a senior, I'd be a junior, and Andy would be a sophomore.
So you guys decided to start a band. What made you guys decide to start like a not a Christian band, but a band with a positive message? Was that from the very start?
It's one of those weird things. Like I think we fell into it, and I also think we were called into it. Like Tim's band back in the day was a secular band; they weren't, a Christian band. And Andy and my band wasn't really a Christian band either, But we were all Christians, we grew up in youth group, and it was something that we just felt the doors were opening up for us, and so we made a cognizant decision. Like we actually had a band meeting. Like, do we want to go through this secular route and do the clubs, or do we, want to go what we were feeling called to, which was being a Christian band? And so we all, prayed about it and felt comfortable, like, okay, we're going to go that direction. And so it worked out for us. The timing was fantastic. I don't know. I mean,
No, that's good.
I don't like to say God was opening up doors for us or, divine providence. It was just circumstances worked out positively for us. So if that was God, that's fantastic. It's also, we did a lot of hard work.
So, and at the time, you guys were all just have jobs and everything. This is just like a hobby, or is this something you're just doing on the side?
No.
Or you set out, you're like, we're going to try to...
Yeah, I mean, we were going to try to make it, It was like, we knew at the time we weren't the best, musicians. We always just told ourselves we just outwork all the other bands. If that means playing more shows, playing more terrible shows, we're gonna do everything that we can to succeed.
Wow.
So that means go to Kinko's and make 1,000 flyers and go to shows everywhere and pass them out. Call people on the phone. Just networking, going to all the Christian bookstores. All over Southern California, just working and working and working.
Wow. I guess we'll just get into it. This Neverland Sessions, is this where it starts? This is the earliest I got.
That's it. Is this?
Front and back.
So there was the EP that came out before this.
Oh, okay.
The
Does
cassette,
that exist anymore?
The cassette tape.
Nice.
But yeah, this is it. At the time, Andy was working with Dan Michaels from the choir.
Yeah.
And he was asking Dan if he could pass on our, our demo tape to like Steve and Darian, see if they'd be interested in it. And Steve's like, yeah, can you pay me? You know, it wasn't because he liked the music. It was just like, I need to get paid. And we're like, but we're stoked because he's like one of our heroes. We're like, oh yeah, man, we got money. And so, you know, we paid him, manufactured this, and just started sending it out to every record company we could find and playing, you know, every youth group show. We even played club shows.
So slowly watch it grow.
Yeah.
Get more and more people.
Yeah.
At each show.
Yeah. And also, like, I just want to say, like, just because, you know, I was saying, like, we were going to be a, quote, a Christian band, like, we still play clubs. We still love to do that, you know. So, like, we play a youth group show on a Wednesday night and play Coconut Teaser or Goodies on Thursday night, you know.
Yeah.
Before the male dancers showed up, you know. So, yeah.
So, okay, for this, though, you write lyrics, right? Is that how this goes? Who wrote lyrics for all these?
On this one...
Or in the music and lyrics. Who wrote all that?
The band wrote the music, and on this record particularly, it was sort of a hodgepodge, like Andy wrote Follow This, and Tim wrote I Believe in Some Love,
Wow.
and Kill Me, and Take It Away. So like on this record, I wrote, you know, whatever, a few of them, but it was more of a band thing at that time.
Shine was like a huge song at the time, right? Was that your like single kind of thing? I mean,
Yeah.
what is a single? I mean, it's not even, it's what people like, you know?
Well, what got us signed was Shine and I Believe. Like, we released I Believe by ourselves to Christian radio, and it just started racing up the charts.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would hear it on your station? Like, wow, that's...
Yeah. Yeah,
That's really
Shine and
cool.
I Believe is what got us signed. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. Well,
Yeah.
Just, so when
I
you
haven't
got
seen this in a long time.
No,
Sorry,
you're
I'm
good.
staring at it like, whoa, what is
you
this?
can keep it, man. So I'm trying to get all the orders right. Whirlpool, is this your... So when you got signed, did you do an EP? Is that how that worked?
Yeah, we took, that's kind of funny, we went from EP to this, back to an EP. So this was our first release on Reunion Records. And this was all remixed by, I believe, Steve Griffith. He was,
Yeah.
you know, from the, you know, Sacramento, the 77s, Vector.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they apparently didn't like our mix, and so they hired him to do, to remix this, and this was our first release on Reunion. And
So you kind of handpicked some of the songs out of here?
yeah, I would say the record company handpicked some of the songs from there. Yeah. But I think they picked the right ones.
What kind of music were you listening to? You know, what inspired you for this kind of sound, you know? This kind of early 90s. I mean, what bands were you listening to at the time?
It was like, the 90s was a real hodgepodge. Like, we grew up on K-Rock
Yeah.
and, you know, KNEC before it was like heavy metal KNEC. So in Southern California, we were just exposed to like all genres all the time. And so like, you would love the Stone Roses, but you'd also love the Mission UK. You would love the Mission UK and, you know, also love, you know, Jesus Jones and Nine Inch Nails and Ministry, and just like, there's just, you know, Echo and the Bunnymen, Depeche Mode. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So our influences were just basically what we were hearing on the radio. So sometimes it'd be like, you know, like, let's try this, you know, let's try that, because it's that we weren't genre specific at the time. And it's, sometimes I look back on it, it's a little embarrassing, you know, because I listen to bands that I loved and they were very genre specific, and we're just jumping all over everywhere because we just were fans of all those bands and just wanted to like emulate that. So like these first couple records were like sort of us just like learning how to write songs, you know, like really like stealing influences and ideas and being reactionary.
Were you guys
as
all
being
on
proactive?
were you guys on the same page of what direction you wanted to go to at the time?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time we were just trying to have fun. Sometimes there'd be like a couple of things like, no, man, we're not doing that, you know, like, you know, so, you know, like, yeah.
So you guys got signed and they basically wanted you to put out an EP and kind of test the waters, see where that goes.
Yeah.
And that did well. You guys toured.
Yeah.
How long did you tour for on that EP? Do you remember? I mean, this was a long time, or?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. The big thing though, man, this album is huge on me and my family. Shaw.
Yeah.
This was massive, you know.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
What was it? Can you talk about this album?
Sure. Shaw.
And it's on vinyl. I mean, that's...
Yeah. This was like, I think, us sort of slowly getting away from being derivative, just trying to like create like what we like to hear. It's sort of like concentrating on like what we really wanted to do. And at the time, you know, being in Christian music, it was really, I don't want to ever marginalize it, but we were all of a sudden thrust into this thing where like we're playing with Petra, you know, and the Garmo key or whatever, you know, like the stuff that none of the kids ever liked.
Yeah, it's like your dad's kind of style.
Yeah. And so this, again, we're still a reactionary band, so we wanted to make something that was like super challenging to us to play musically, but also to the listener. That this was not going to be like we're not going to be the next Petra, because that's what Reunion really wanted us to be, is become like this next contemporary rock band, you know, off of, you know, Whirlpool, Shine, and I Believe. Like they're ready to like do that, and we're just like, no, we were never called to do that. This is us. We're just gonna be us. So that's why like the song, you know, Crawl has, it's just Shine is dead. We're done.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You're done with like the...
Yeah, which, you know, for a band like us, being on a major label like that is a death sentence. You know, basically just saying, no, we're not playing the game. If we're gonna succeed, we're gonna succeed on our own terms, because they're not gonna put us on tour with Petra or with any of those other bands. So we had to make our own, you know, mark, our own, you know, touring thing, you know. We were on our own. And so this was it, you know. We just really went out there and just tried to write.
How long did it take you to write this album? I mean, these songs are pretty powerful.
Well, as you know, the blessing for us was like, you know, the first record's always the easiest to make because you have like, you know,
10 years
in making. Yeah. The second record takes forever to make because you don't have any songs. Lucky for us, a lot of this was written during this time. You know, Shine or Crawls was a little bit different, but there's a lot of stuff like we were performing this stuff along with that stuff, and we were always playing all the time. So it wasn't like we were stuck in the studio. We were always writing songs, always playing live. It was never like, okay, we need a new record a year from now, you know. And so like we toured on that for a while. We really toured heavy on this.
Did your writing get increased more on this album?
It was a little bit more, well, what do you mean?
Like, did you write more songs on this album, I guess? Because, you know, you and Tim were kind of, Tim would write a couple, you'd write a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is, you know, I think all me. Look at me.
I know. Dude, I keep asking the lyrics because I found out you write all these songs. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, the bass player wrote all the songs, so that's just really cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it got to the point where, you know, Tim, you know, his lack of focus does not bode well for him sitting down and writing things. So like, you know, I would get together with Andy and Wayne, and we just talk about themes and ideas and whatever, and then I would just sit there and just write them out.
Yeah.
And like Tim would, when he shows up, would be like, okay, I like this, and you know, see if it fits, and we'd work it out, and yeah.
I love how when I heard about the Big Will, I think when you did was that the song you did the drum track too?
That was Round.
Round, yeah. I like that story. When you were working with Steve and he didn't want to do he's like, oh, we can play this song in the studio. I'm getting kind of nerdy with this, but I always thought that was funny.
No,
and back then it was all new, you know, you think of like Nine Inch Nails having all these different kind of drum sounds and adding that to your mix. That's really cool.
Well, yeah, it's like at the time, like that, you can afford a drum machine. You can afford like, you know, sequencers, and you could do like cool things that you've never tried before. So we really wanted to try that. I mean, would have been better if we just would have done live percussion, but we really wanted to try something new, because this is where we're really trying to push us as musicians, like song 58's like in 5/8.
That's like one of my favorites. Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking in Nashville, like there's some songs like there's one section in 6/8, and it's just like, why are we doing that? It makes no sense, but it's just like trying to like push us better as musicians. So it was like a challenging record to make and play, and even to play live, as you saw. So
How long did it take for you guys to finish this record? Was this a long process?
to record it?
Yeah.
No, man. Back in the day, it was like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks.
Did you guys know you had something special when you finished?
No.
I mean, 25. You guys had a 25th anniversary, few shows, and I was able to go to one of them in Nashville. And it's like when you guys were recording this, it's just amazing to think like, 25 years, we could redo this whole album. That's how great it's going to be. It's just a special album. I
appreciate
grew up on it, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Like we were talking in Nashville and even in Los Angeles, it was just like the response from the fans was just overwhelming and just humbling, and it made us feel like honored, or whatever those terms is. It just made us feel different and reflect on this differently than we did so long ago, and it truly is just, I don't know, it makes me emotional just to think like how much it meant to people, and I'm so happy that I was able to make something that meant something to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, going off that, I think I'm going in order here. This album meant a lot to me too, because who is this kid? Like he looks like my brother when he was little. I was like, he's got the spike going on the side. I love it.
That's my brother.
That's your brother? Because I thought it was my brother. It looks the same.
It's maybe.
Yeah.
You look like my brother.
How did you
shaved your beard?
And he used to have it. So that's cool. So you guys decided to do a live album?
Yeah, he's actually going to my junior high graduation. My mom took a photo of that, and I just thought it was kind of fun.
I wish they had him like now on this side.
Oh,
a grown man.
He looks almost the same.
Does he?
Yeah. This is a weird one.
93.
Yeah, we did the live record, but our record company, Road Dog, which is Reunion, really wanted to promote more singles to college radio. And so they thought a good idea is like, why don't you do a cover song? So we did The Cutter.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much the reason why this happened. And we got to release Radio Friendly Stone, which is something that we did with Mike Knott, and put out Chatterbox.
Who's Chatterbox by?
That's us.
That's you. I always thought that was a cover song. That's
the Prayer Chain. No,
it's a great song. It just seems different from a lot of songs.
Yeah, it was a quote, a B-side from the Shaw record that just didn't fit. And
do you guys have a lot of those from Shaw?
No, we've released a lot, everything that is releasable, But yeah, it was just we did this up in San Francisco. Yeah.
Some Love, that's a great song, but you said Tim wrote that song.
Tim wrote that one.
That's some strong lyrics, right?
Yeah. Like no, absolutely. Like, he went out on a limb, and that's the great thing about Tim. Like, his self-awareness is really obtuse at times. Like, it's, especially like in California, it doesn't really matter, but everywhere else it does matter what he was saying. And like, like back in the day, like even in California, the churches were struggling, how to handle homosexuality and how to handle, the abortion issues and all that stuff. And it was something for us as a band, and, Tim was expressing, like, why does it matter? Just love him. It just, that's all you can do. It's like, you can't judge him. There's, it's really silly sometimes, Christianity, when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, it's just like, they're just people. They're struggling just like us. They're carrying their own baggage. sin is a sin, man.
Yeah, it
It
seemed like
doesn't cut either way with God. So like we said, let's just let him be, man. You know, love him. You know?
powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Tim, I think, wrote an amazing lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he doesn't write much, but when he does, it's like just this phenomenal song. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. No.
So-
We always, if he ever sees this, we always call it the Jesus rap because
Yeah.
on all the songs that he writes, it's basically
He's the best rapper alive. Like,
he's a
you could
yes,
beat Tim.
he's the whitest Jesus rapper on the planet. But when he comes up with stuff, it's phenomenal. I mean, if you listen to Some Love now and think about, you know, rap, you'll hear it there because it's like dun 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 dun, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I never thought that. That's
yeah,
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much time did you guys take off after you did the live album? Because Mercury, we talk about Mercury, is such obviously a different direction. Did you guys take a long period off and talk about, we want to go here or do this? And
Yeah.
were you guys on the same page as far as sound?
Well, at the Shaw record, at the end of the Shaw era,
Yep.
do you want me to
Yeah,
hold it?
absolutely. You can hold it.
I don't have to hold it. We knew we were breaking up. Like, we had a conversation on New Year's Eve at some festival or whatever, and our manager showed up and everything, and we're sitting in the van, and, you know, we were already, like, you know, at each other's throats, and he's like, what is the plan? And we're like, we're gonna do one more record, and we'll tour it, and that's it, you know, that's it. He's like, okay, because we still owed Reunion one more, so we wanted to honor that deal. And so we spent, I don't know, man, probably 6 months writing this.
You worked with Steve on that one too, right?
Yeah. We brought him in real late because on this record we wanted to do something very, you know, specific, try to do like, which I know sounds pretentious now, work with just hand drums and, you know, different beats and whatever. And so we'd sit in Tim's, you know, living room and play bongos, you know, or djembes, or, you know, it's like a drum circle. I don't know.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just start writing parts. And it took a very, 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 very long time to get ideas. When we'd have ideas, and but Tim, like, we'd be like, well, I need these, for me to express myself, we need to play in a band format. And we're just like, okay, so now we rent a lockout studio and we'll bang out the stuff in the lockout studio for like a week. And he's like, I'm not feeling it here. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to make you feel it, man. So we finally called Steve out and, you know, showed him a bunch of stuff, and he sort of nitpicked and found the ones that he liked. And we just went from there, you know. It was, we got in a van, drove out to Nashville, recorded everything in like 5 days.
So you guys are like on the verge of breaking up, or we're just gonna do this album and then be done touring on it, and it was last shot.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, of course, the record company said it's not Christian enough. You need to write more songs. And so in our wisdom, we wrote a 9-minute song called Sky High as a, you know, a coup de grace to finally put the prayer chain, like, yeah, we made some poor decisions, but they were on our terms, and we realized it. Like, I remember we were flying back from Europe, and our A&R guys showed up at LAX along with our manager, just like, they got the record and they were just like, what the heck? This unacceptable.
They went in Shaw too. We were like another continuation.
Yeah. And like, I mean, we've been in Europe for like, you know, a week or two, like, we're just like frazzled, you know, like we're having a band meeting, like, no, we want to get home to our families, you know, and they're just like on us. And so we said, we'll do what we can. And, and then flew out somewhere else and played a bunch of shows, and then flew home and got in his, the rehearsal space and wrote Friend or Foe, Sky High, Lose Yourself Tonight, and that's what we gave them. And I think at that point they just decided to quit and just say, okay, let's just get it out, let them tour, make our money back. But they did put it out. So, and it was a hard time,
And you guys, how long did you tour on this one? When you go on the road, was this just the States?
No, we did over. We always did the States, Canada, and Europe. So, I don't know, probably a year and a half, 2 years on this, maybe.
When you guys got done with that, you have Antarctica. Is this like?
It's
like B-sides, right?
That's the B-sides,
yes.
yeah.
So, what made you guys decide to do this? You still with the same record company?
No, they didn't want anything to do with this. So we did this on Gene Eugene and Ojo's label, Brainstorm.
That's cool.
Adam McGinn and Undercover.
Yeah.
So Antarctica, Chalk, Loverboy, Friend or Foe, Super Free, and Hum were all the ones that got kicked off the record. And
Hum's on there, right? Though is that Hum?
It's a different Hum.
Different Hum, yeah.
Yeah, and this was like our last official show as the Prayer Chain right here.
Oh, that's your last official.
Yeah.
I got this one right here. You guys played at CBGB's?
Yeah. I actually I'm kind of surprised, for Prayer Chain fans. I think this thing sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's just a cassette tape off the board at CBGB's.
Were you playing it? So they just gave it to you at the end of the night, and you're like, "We should put this out."
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like we're all stoked to play at CBGB's. Like, So, of course, there's no parking in New York. We got our van and trailer, and so it's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And we go on at 1:00 in the morning.
Wow.
On a Wednesday or Thursday night, and Wayne's friend from Boston drove up to see him. It was I think that might have been it. The bartender and the waitress. Okay. So we play, and we didn't. The guy's like, "Hey man, do you want the cassette tape?" Like, sure, we'll hear it. And then the bartender is like, he's like, "Man, that was the best thing I've ever seen. You guys played to no one and just profanity rocked the place out." He's like, "Closing down the boat, whatever you guys want tonight." I'm like, "Oh man, thanks, but we gotta go. We got another show." So we had a couple of beers with them, and went out went to our next gig.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm really proud of that
show, man.
Yeah.
So and then we got I got all your rare stuff. Man.
Yeah.
Talk about this record because I don't know much about it.
This is the record that was rejected by the label.
Okay, so that was before Mercury?
This was what we sent to Reunion.
Okay.
So this was what we gave them to, which they said no, and flew out people to Los Angeles and tell us we're not putting it out unless you do certain things. But this was the record that we gave them.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry for bringing that one up.
No, it's all right, man. It's a fascinating record because it was all set up there's half the record is faith, struggles, the obvious things, that all Christians, struggle with.
Yeah, real stuff.
Yeah. And then the other half is just all love songs. So we want to have this dichotomy of this, the person who struggles with faith, but also has these things that they love and that they cherish that may not be God, but it's their loved ones, their family, and so it's this weird, we're on this juxtaposition of distance and infinity, and just that's what Mercury is about. It's all about distance, how far you can get away from things, just being numb, just everything. But then also at the same time, having these intimate relationships with your spouse, your girlfriend, your best friends, So then Reunion took all the happiness out, and that's why I believe, Antarctica's a love song, Chalk's a love song, Loverboy is obviously a love song, So they just took all the love out, kept all the hate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's. I got like a ton of your there's another Mercury. Do you remember putting on this like little tin can?
Yeah.
With the Alien, and people got offended by the don't put Alien in a Christian album.
Yeah.
People will get offended.
No, we lost them some money on that because our CD had the, took off the thing and had the alien face, and those all got sent back, and they had to.
That blows my mind because I just found out about that
in
your Nashville shows. Somebody told me, but that's crazy.
Yeah, because it was about distance, and you're just on the road, so you're just reading weird stuff, and we were reading like alien books and different like theories about aliens, and basically what Ancient Aliens is now on the History Channel or whatever. They talk about. We were reading that back in like the '90s, and so I always found it interesting and compelling, and just thought I'd be kind of.
Did you think it'd stir up like that much controversy on there?
No.
And it seems like if something like that came out today, it wouldn't, like, if Chris Tomlin had an alien on us, he'd be like, he's the devil. Like, it wouldn't seem like,
People are just looking for things to, I don't know, get upset about. We all do it.
Yeah. And Stryper had stuff like that, like The Hell with the Devil. They had changed their album cover.
Yeah.
So there's always been, like, little things like that. I don't know if that relates to what you're saying.
Yeah. I know. It was funny. And, we thought, this is how dumb we are, not that funny, but we thought it was funny, like, when you took up the CD, it just had the little alien guy there, and it just said, "See you soon."
Yes, yeah.
Like, we're bringing the Armageddon, the alien Armageddon coming, So,
That's funny.
I'm
That's
sorry.
as bad as you guys got, was having the aliens.
Yeah. Well, we got...
That was your deep end.
Our first...
like, behind the music, that's like... when people get on drugs and fall off the wagon, that was your
Well, we did our first Creation Fest in Pennsylvania. We had a motorhome, and Andy brought, for some reason, there's the Jolly Roger. We had a little flag in our window. We were parked there and just like, open the door, like, you got to take that down, right? Take what down? That's satanic. It's like, it's a pirate flag. I bought it at Disneyland. The Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jolly Roger. Like, yeah, you can't have that here. Like, and that was sort of like when we knew we're in a whole different world.
Yeah.
A whole different world. Because obviously Southern California is a little bit more laissez-faire and liberal. A quote about their Christianity, which I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but like things that people take literally, I think us growing up in, Southern California don't. Like, it's not that big of a deal, like, it's a pirate flag.
Yeah.
It's an alien. Just having fun. You know what I mean? It's not changing our faith. We still believe in Jesus. We're still here for the kids,
Going back, when you say they, like, who was telling you to take this off? Was this
people
like management?
Yeah.
But your lyrics are so strong and in-depth, and it's like this pirate flag gets thrown up. It just seems crazy.
Well, dude, sorry, I just said dude.
I
I always hate that. Well, the song Never Enough, I mean, we got hate mail for that. Because they're saying, blood of healer is never enough. And it's just like, well, yeah, sometimes that's how it feels. Like, obviously you want God's grace, but like your humanity won't let you take it. It's just saying, like, sometimes your guilt won't let you embrace the grace.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible rap as well, embrace the grace. But, we got tons of hate mail for that, saying we're not Christians. Promoters would be asking us about that. Churches wouldn't, allow us to play because, saying the blood of healer is never enough. And it's just like, man, you're just taking everything just too far. People struggle with that. Let them struggle with that. Like those kids in the youth group need to hear that they're not alone. So
Back in the 90s, I remember a lot of Christian bands would not only play, but they would actually preach a little bit. Did you guys ever communicate that with your fans?
Yeah, we tried that a couple times, and we realized that's not what we should be doing. We should just be making the best music we can, and just throw the chips out, and where they land, they land. Because it's like, we're not preachers. And one of us is bound to say something that's not biblically correct, our opinion, and will just cause a firestorm. Yeah. So I remember one time, I think it was probably me, talking about a lyric. You know, I had the Bible open, like talking, and I just look out the audience, and everyone's just like, oh. I'm like, all right, let's just stop this. And after that, we're like, we're done, preaching and trying to save kids. If kids wanted to pray with us, or if the pastor wanted to do an altar call, we'd be totally fine with it. We'd just be like, we won't be on the stage. We're not going to play background music for you. You're more than welcome to do an altar call.
That's cool.
And even at the end of like the Mercury stuff, we try to play as little shows as possible in like the chapel or churches, because we felt that that's the sanctuary, that's God's house, and we just wanted to keep that, that just sanctified, pure, because we're up there playing rock music, and I don't know, who's behaving. We're not that church. We don't represent that church. So like, we always try to like put us in the fireside room, put us in a hall. Just don't put us in the sanctuary. That's God's house. We're really honorable about that. So like, when people, accuse us of putting aliens and stuff in there, it's like, you're not getting the big picture. We totally respect Christ. We respect your church, just, whatever. I can't even get to this salient point, but we.
Right, this album right here, this is where my brother says, this is where Prayer Chain dies. Because they're all in the
Yeah, this is a great story. So this is
that?
We actually got to open for Petra. And we were all in school at the time. And so we had to do a show in Los Angeles, then a show up in the Bay Area. And we had to get back, I think it was probably on a Sunday. Yeah. So we played Saturday in LA, had to do Sunday, but we had to get back for school on Monday. So in our wisdom, like, hey, let's get like a bus, So we said, okay. So halfway up the 5 freeway, the bus starts smoking. And that's our tour bus, on fire on the side of the road.
But everybody got out safe? I mean,
we pulled it. Well, I lost all my books, all my notes for college. Andy lost books, Tim lost books. We got all the gear and merchandise out.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. That was the last time we ever got in a tour bus.
What caused the fire? Do you ever find out? Or?
I don't know. And it wasn't like a kick-ass tour bus. I mean, it was like...
a little run down?
Yeah, it was a little beat up. But yeah.
But so this is like a live album? Like, I'm trying to remember what was on the album. I think it was like just rare stuff. And
yeah, this was like...
I wish I had the back. I'm sorry.
This is just the retrospective of... This is probably the whole catalog, all the B-sides, all the outliers. There's probably some like cassette demos on there and everything. Yeah, so this is probably the most comprehensive thing you can get, if you wanted all the weird outliers. So.
Super fans.
Yeah.
You did the Starflyer thing, right?
Yeah.
And that came after all this. Was this your first project after Prayer Chain?
Yeah.
You guys toured on this for a couple times. I like this the mustache I was talking about. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You got your same drummer too, so you guys kind of went on. Who's your singer for Starflyer? Yeah,
that's Jason Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Martin toured with us for a long time in Starflyer, and I remember asking him, I'm like, hey, like at the end of the year, like I'm done. I'm looking for a band. You mind if I, if you're looking for a bass player, give me a holler. And Wayne's been playing with them since the Gold record.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, come on board. So
you just did this one album with them?
Yeah.
Tour around. And then after this, you had the Lassie Foundation, right?
Correct.
Did you you played bass on this, correct?
No.
Did you sing?
I guitar.
Guitar, wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing guitar? I didn't even know you played guitar. That's cool.
Right after this, I started. So the funny thing about this was, we were on tour with the Mercury stuff, and that's like when like Pavement and Sebado and all that stuff was coming out.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't quite understand it, and like it just sounded like real janky, out of tune guitars. I'm like, I could do that. So I went down to Guitar Center, spent $100 or $150, got the Squire Strat deal with the PV20, and so I started writing songs, and it became this record. And at the time, I'm like, Wayne, do you want to be in the band? He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, do you want to sing? He's like, dude, I can't sing. I'm like, I don't know, do something like silly, like just sing a falsetto, like just try to be like anti-rock. And so me, Wayne, wrote this record, and Andy actually played bass on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
And then then you started doing Kush, and you got a lot of Kush albums. Are you on all of them?
Yeah.
So, and you're singing on this?
No.
I keep thinking you sang for some reason.
I don't. No one wants to hear me sing. Listen, do you hear this beautiful voice? No one wants to hear me. Yeah.
You could be anti-rock, like. So anyway, you played bass on all these Kush albums?
Yeah.
The EP.
Yeah.
What can you talk about this?
Which one?
Any of them. This is the first one, I guess. I don't have the order of them.
This is the first one.
Sorry.
This one here. This was like in between. Because I did Lassie for a long time. I have, there's 5 records out of that. And me and Andy and Wayne off and on would just be bumping around musical ideas. And we kind of wanted to just like see how far we could take like the Mercury sound, but more like droney, just sort of like more space rock, I guess.
Yeah.
And
spacey.
Yeah. So we did this, and at the time we just wanted to be like have a bunch of people sing on it, play on it, whatever. But of course, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm in." It's like, "Hey, can you show up?" Yeah, I can't tonight, but I can do it. This and that, and then, we could ask different singers to sing, but like, they'd always be like, I don't know. Am I in the band? It was like, no, it's not a band. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
And no one could really wrap their head around it. And so one day I was talking to Mike Knott, and me and Wayne went down there and met Mike Knott and just said, "You want to sing on it?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely." So these are, the record we made with Mike Knott. So it's basically me and Andy with Wayne playing drums, Frank Lenz playing drums, So, yeah.
And so you guys, is this the next one here?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm not even prepared right here.
Yeah, this is.
Bring them all out here.
Yeah, so there's these two guys. Actually, you're missing one.
Ah, man.
All right. So after it was all said and done, we really wanted to make spiritual records where we'd take old spirituals and sort of update them and do stuff with them. And so that's what this record was. And we wanted to make 2 EPs and a full length, where the full length is like, how would we want to hear worship music?
Yeah, it's a different background.
With the audacity.
Yeah, that was my earlier interview.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, there's 2 EPs of this, and then this is the final one, like how we'd want to hear, worship music, I think, if we went to church. Oh, because cool. For a lot of us, I know that sounds terrible. It's just like going to hear worship music in a church actually hurts because it doesn't. It's so benign. It's just so
repetitive and
and it's just not resonating. And so we wanted to make something like, this is how we would like to do it. And it goes through, the birth of Christ all the way to the death of Christ and the resurrection. So there's it goes through the whole narrative of, the life of Christ.
How can people find this? Is this on Spotify and eBay and?
You can get it at northernrecords.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All the Kush stuff is available there. They have a Bandcamp site as well where you can download all the songs and kind of pick and choose the ones that you like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Would you do another album like that, like Kush, or just do anything new with them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Probably not for a while. It's just things have. Andy's working on different things. He's trying to finish up some stuff. And, you know, it's just time now. I mean, he has 3 kids. I have 2 kids. It's hard to find time.
So when you guys, like, bringing back, like, I know first you did Mercury, Prairie Chain Mercury, you did the listening parties. And whose idea was it to start doing all that stuff? Like doing Shaw and having a 25th anniversary. Did you guys get together? I mean, you guys been staying in touch the entire time?
The Shaw thing was shocking because I think Andy actually suggested it. And I think to this day he regrets suggesting it. It was such hard work. But it was like, he was just saying, hey, fellas, the 25th anniversary's coming up. And maybe we should just do a quick show to honor it. And, you know, Wayne said okay, which was shocking. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, we'll do it. And then all of a sudden, we just started the Kickstarter thing just as a small thing. And it just went nuts and was like, we had no idea.
I love how connected you guys were during that Kickstarter. I mean, I remember you guys posting live videos of you practicing in some basement or something. Yeah. And just how, and when you guys you planned a show, right? And then you added on. Was that the case, or did you plan a few shows? I remember, I think that Nashville seemed like an add-on show or something.
Well, we originally were just, like you said, like we didn't realize how big it was going to be, and like. The response we got just from releasing, you know, the vinyl and the Kickstarter, people responding to that and like saying, okay, we'll do a show in LA, and just like you know, the numbers just went up. And I was telling Tim, I'm like, dude, we can't, that's not cool to people that can't afford it. Like, let's just go to Nashville, we'll see what happens. And then that just took off as well.
Yeah, having like Dakota and the Choir opening, those bands I grew up on. Yeah. And you guys filmed that show too, didn't you? Yeah. You gonna release that at one point?
Yeah, online? We just finished the masters from the live show.
You're gonna do a CD off that, aren't you, too?
Yeah, so that just went to mastering. It's approved, and then the artwork should be done next week. So it'll be released no later than Thanksgiving, so you'll be able to get it by then. We don't know when the video is gonna come out. That's a whole other ball of worms, because it's basically just me and Tim just doing everything, all the legwork, because the other fellows are busy. So it's just, you know, so anytime we're trying to get the product to the people, you know, we feel terrible it takes so long, but
no, at least you're trying, though. Yeah. That's big. Well, and when you guys, this is the last question I was, but when you were playing Nashville, like, were you nervous? I mean, what was the feelings? You're going on this sold out audience. I was like, man, if that was me, I would be really nervous.
No, man, it was...
Like, how do you prepare? I mean, obviously you learn the songs real well, but when you're going out there, I mean, like, all these people are traveling, and it's like, it's a massive deal.
It's stressful, you know, and it was one of those things, like, felt so happy, so blessed about it, but also, like, just so stressed, and, like it was just a lot of hard work, and, like, you know, like we talked about that listening party, it wasn't even, we felt like we were a cover band because, like, we had no emotional attachment to that music, so even to perform it sometimes it was really, really hard, you know. And you saw, like, we had a ton of hiccups. I had, like, you know, one big long one, and you know, it was embarrassing. And
I loved it though. It was just the whole experience was amazing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and that was all the fans. It was very nice that they felt that way, you know. You know, at the end of the day, if you asked the band, we wish we could have done better, giving you more.
Yeah, but, what else could you have done?
I know, we did our best. We rehearsed, you know, for 3.5, 4 months.
And I'll say this too. I've been to a ton of like VIP like band stuff. You guys did a 4 or 5 hour. I was like, this is the longest VIP ever. You had food, drinks, and I didn't want to leave. I was like, I mean, you guys do so much for your fans, you know, and that means a lot to fans. It meant a lot to me. I was like, it's just really, really cool.
Yeah, man. If it wasn't for you guys, you know, it's just as much as we mean to you, you guys mean to us, and, you know, like, I mean that sincerely. Like, I had dinner with Tim like 2 weeks ago. We were still talking about just how blown away the fans were, and just the notes, and just the kindness, and I don't know. You guys blessed us so much, and you know. And even doing this is like repaired friendships and made new friends. And it's like, I don't know, it's a great healing process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever talk about doing anything down the road, or is that?
There's
Anything
no, we won't. We won't write a prayer chain record. You know, there might be some things that we would possibly do, but not write songs as a band. You know. So.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, man. I hope I gave you all I
You
could.
did.
I don't. You know. I didn't
You
want to
gave
let
me
you
a lot.
down.
No, I feel like I let you down. You have so
No.
much to go over, and I'm like, man, this is. I mean, look at the catalog. This is a ton of stuff.
Oh.
You've done a lot.
Oh, thank you. It's My,
did that.
my wife's thrilled, obviously.
I appreciate it.
No, man. Thank you.
Thank
man.
you so
All
much.
right.